What is up, guys? My name is Everything Pokemon, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a standard Pokemon deck in the Pokemon trading card game online really easily in a way that you can hopefully win some matches. And to do so, I'm going to create a new deck here today using just some basic cards that I have that are pretty common that most people can find, and showing you guys my process, how I go through and create a deck so you guys can follow and do the same thing. So it's super simple to make a deck. You go to Deck Manager here from the home screen. It'll load up and you're going to go to the top here and you're going to click on Create a New Deck. Now there's a couple different ways to do this. We're focusing on standards. There's two real ways here. You can use the Deck Wizard, which is the simplest way, or you can create a deck from scratch by clicking on Standard. I'm going to show you how to do both. So if you want to just know how to do it from scratch, I'll put that in the timestamps below and you can skip ahead. But I'll show really briefly Deck Wizard. This is where the game basically makes it for you. So as you can see here, we're set in the standard type of deck, and you can filter by energy type. You can search. I'm going to make a water deck here really fast, I guess. I'll hit on water and I'm going to search. I want to use my Radiant Greninja that I just got, and so I'll use that card right there, and then I can include one other card that I'd like to have included. You pick up to 2, and then this will auto build a deck for you. So looking through here, I would like to use my Inteleon V card because I've never used that. You can also pick randomly. It'll just make a random build deck for you, which can be kind of fun as well. So then you hit continue here, and it automatically builds me a deck. Now these decks that it auto builds, they might be all right, but a lot of times they're not the best decks in the world. It'll pick the trainer cards for you. It'll pick the energy. And you can see some of these things are a little bit random. Not the best. It's usually 20-20. 20 for the 3 here, 20 Pokemon, 20 trainer, 20 energy. But from here, I can edit, right? So if I want to get rid of this Weasel, for example, and I want to add in Amistar V or something like that, I can do that just by dragging and dropping. Or there's a lot of other different ways you can do it, right? And you can just go through and add it in. Now, if you don't know anything about deck building, if you're not really sure how it works, this is a great way to start. But if you want to really get in and design a winning deck from scratch using everything you want, that's what I'm going to show you right now. And so when you're done with this, after you've decided it, you'll just hit the save button here and you can create a deck. I'm not going to create this one right now, but right now I'm going to show you the deck that I want to build. I planned it out beforehand, so it'll be quick here, but I'm just going to click on Standard, and I want to build a deck built around my Corviknight and my Stunfisk V. So what I'm going to look at first is a filter here you can do. You can hit on filters, and you can filter by type. So I'm going to filter by Steel, because I'm trying to build a Steel deck here. And I'm going to go down here and it'll show you all of your Steel Pokemon. In this deck, I'm going to include 3 Mawile. I've been looking at this card and I kind of like it because I like that in the first one here I have the chance to paralyze Pokemon. And also, Piercing Strike is just a pretty powerful move. And it's kind of easy if I'm waiting to set up, I can stall a little bit paralyzing Pokemon. And so I like that option there. And then I was looking through a little bit here. And you can look through and you can see all your cards. And I'm going to show you right here the Pokemon that I picked. The main focus of this deck, and you'll see that when we get to the trainer cards, why. And I'm going to build everything around. I want to use Galarian Stunfisk V. And as I was building these decks, I tried to use cards that are pretty common. Things that are not too hard to come by. You know, I didn't have 4 of 1 V card here, or V Max or V Star. Although you will, if you really want to win a lot, that's the way to do it. And if you want to know how to get good cards like that without too much difficulty, I have a video about that I'll link above right now. But right here, I like this card a lot because he has 20 more HP for every Steel energy attached to him. So I can make him pretty bulky. And then this right here, if I use Trapping Bite, which only costs 2 energy, if he's hit by attack, even if he's knocked out, it'll do 120 damage, which is a ton. So I'm really interested to use that and kind of try him out. So I'm having him in my deck. And then besides that, I'm just going to use the Ferrothorn line. So I'm going to use 2 Ferro Seeds, and then I'm going to use 2 Ferrothorns, because I really like this Pokemon here with his Energy Slap. Does 100 damage, and then I can move my energy to another Pokemon, which is a really cool way to set up. And then I'm going to do 2 Corviknight, and then I have to turn my filters off so I can actually go look for the other Pokemon that I need and I'm going to have in this deck. Besides that, the only other Pokemon I'm going to use is I'm going to use 3 Rookidee and 3 Corvisquire. Because my main focus here is going to be the Stunfisk V and then my Corviknight here. He's really easy. You can actually get him from a theme deck, so it's not hard to come by this line. but his Iron Wings is really powerful, and you can also make it so it prevents 100 damage from other attacks. So it's a really, really strong Pokemon that can tank something pretty hard near the end game or the beginning. So he's a really good Pokemon to use. So I'm going to have him in there. And then the last Pokemon that I'm going to use just for fun, because I've never used it before and I want to try it out, is going to be Togekiss V. And now as you use this deck, you want to try him out and maybe edit some things later on. But this is just kind of a basic idea. And then here's where things are really important, are the trainer cards. And so if you're wondering about the numbering of how many cards of each type you should use, 20-20-20 is pretty basic. If you stay around there, you're going to be fine. A lot of times people will do a little bit less energy, a little bit more trainer and Pokemon. I'm going to go a little bit trainer heavy here just because I want to try out some new things that I haven't really tried before. And so the cards that I'm going to be using, I'm going to put in here a Cape of Toughness just because I think it's a fun card that I want to experiment with a little bit. Then I'm going to add in 3 Crushing Hammer because I like the way that I can just mess with my opponents. Crushing Hammer, if you flip a coin and it's heads, your opponent has to discard an energy, one of their Pokemon. And Cape of Toughness adds 50 HP to one of your Pokemon. And so I really like the idea of using that, and I want to try it out because I haven't really used it before. Then the other cards that I'm going to use, I'm going to do 2 Energy Search just so I can help make sure that I have enough energy for the things that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to use 3 Hop cards because he is a great card that lets you just get more cards. You draw 3 cards every time you play him, and so I can make sure I have the cards that I need. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to use 3 Metal Saucers. This allows me to take a Metal Energy card from the discard pile and put it onto one of my Pokemon. I'm going to use 2 Pokemon Breeding's Nurturing to make sure that I can evolve my Pokemon quickly. With this one, I can choose 2 of my Pokemon, search my deck for a Pokemon that evolves from it, and then evolve them in that turn. So that's super helpful to help me get my Corviknight and my Ferrothorn ready. And so I'm definitely going to be using that card. Then I'm going to use 4 Sonia cards. I like this card a lot because it allows you to search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energy cards. So with this card, I can get Stunfisk V out really easily. Between that and another card that I'm going to use, I should almost every round be able to use my Stunfisk V, which is really what I want to do with this deck. I'm going to try out Stunfisk V, see if I like him, see if I want to use him more often, which is a cool thing you can do with decks. You can try things out a little bit, and if you end up liking cards, you can trade for more of them, which I've explained in another video, and then you can make better decks focusing on that Pokemon. The next thing I'm going to do is 4 Ultra Balls, so I can make sure I can get my Stunfisk V out, and I can use him while I'm playing. And then the last 2 cards that I'm going to use 2 Experience Share. If you put this on a Pokemon and your Pokemon gets knocked out, one of their energies will go to this. And then the last one that I'm going to use is 3 Bird Keeper cards. So you can search for cards just like this. This is the card that I want to use. So I'm going to add it here and use 3 of those. With this card, it's like a switch card, but when I use it, I also get to draw 3 cards. So it's a way for me to get a lot of cards. So basically, you want to think about the goal of your deck, right? Which cards are going to do well, and then get trainer cards that allow you to use that card to its best ability. So I am focusing in this deck on Stunfisk V. He's my focus. And so I'm trying to get cards that allow me to utilize Stunfisk V in the best way. Right? Cape of Toughness, if I put that on him, along with his other ability, where every metal energy that is placed on him gets 20 more HP, he can become incredibly bulky. And then every time somebody hits him, they take 120 damage, plus his 60 damage attack. He could be a monster, right? And then with Metal Saucer, Energy Search, I can get a lot of energy, along with the other cards that help me evolve, as I've explained. And then finally, you want to do Energy. Energy is pretty simple. If you want, you can just do a bunch of basic energies. What I'm going to do, just because I have these 2, I want to try them out. I'm going to do 1 Coding Energy, 1 Capture Energy, and then I'm going to use just 14 Metal Energies. And that will get me up to exactly 60 cards, which is the limit, right? You can only use 60 cards. And this is the deck that I'm going to try out, right? But I don't really know how well it works. Haven't tried it out yet. This is just something that I wanted to try. And that's really the way deck building works. Think of something you want to do, some card you want to use, or some strategy you want to try out. Put those cards in, like you can see here, what I've done with Stunfisk V, with Togekiss V, with Corviknight, with the trainers that I've used, and then go do a couple battles. If you like it, if you're winning a lot, if you feel like it's working, you can keep going. You can maybe even build decks upon these strategies to be better. Then if it's not working too well, then you can make a change. You can change some things or make an entirely new deck. By the way, if this has helped you at all, if you've learned something from this, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more Pokemon content. And if you just don't have a lot of cards, if you feel like you don't have enough cards to make these kind of decks, I have a video that explains how to get good cards and the fast and easily in the Pokemon trading card game. And I also have a video that explains how to trade for good cards. And so I'll have both of those linked. You guys can check them out on my channel, and that will hopefully help you as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye.